Hi guys, it's Mary Beth with Day One Life Coaching. Today, I just had my cat jump up. This is TJ. So apparently he wants to do this video chat with me today. Anyway, I was just inspired again. Actually, you won't see me on here unless I feel inspired to talk. I was trying to do the whole every Thursday hour-long thing or a commitment, but I'm just going to do this. I decided for me, what's best energetically is, hey, when I feel like talking, when I feel inspired to say something, I'm going to pop on. And when I don't, I won't. I think that's the way for me personally to do this. So today, what I want to talk about is something that I see happening on a regular basis, friends, clients, everyone, humans, is regarding relationships and the way that people, and this is still law of attraction because we're going to discuss both the practical and the energetic version. So when you chase somebody, that energy that you're putting out there, a lot of my, by the way, I've done this too in the past, and that is why I'm able to talk about it, is because I speak from experience. Anything that I teach you guys is something that I've been through and have healed, and I'm able to get to that point where I can teach you guys, or maybe open your eyes to something that you didn't even realize you were doing, so that you don't spend years making the same mistakes over and over, or decades on addiction like I did. So that's why I'm doing this. It's to help you guys avoid making the same mistakes that I've made in the past. So regarding relationships, there's an energy that we're putting out there, right? And I know that everyone's been on both sides of this, but I think sometimes when we're in it, it's hard to see it when you're in the midst of it. And you almost need to have someone from the outside, shake you up a little bit. But when you're chasing someone, think about it. Think about when someone wants you to do something and they're pushing you and pushing you. We automatically put up these walls like, this person wants it too bad. And you're going to actually block exactly what you're trying to get. If you desire to be with a certain person, for instance, and you're chasing and chasing and chasing, and you treat them like they're royalty, like, oh, well, they're going to treat you like you're beneath them. You've put them on this pedestal, and here you are, you've created that energetic dynamic between them being above you, and you treat someone like a celebrity, they're going to treat you like you're one of their little minions, like you're one of their fans. So I think what I'm trying to say is I want everyone to think about all the stuff that we've been taught in, from movies, and, romantic comedies are really good at this, is the guy's like chasing. And, he's persistent enough, and he eventually ends up winning the woman over. I'm not going to say never, because I never say never at anything. Could it happen? Maybe. But does persistence beat resistance? Possibly. But at the end of the day, is that really how you want to win somebody over? Is by pressuring them? I mean, just think about like a car salesperson. When they pressure you, like personally, I don't want to buy anything from somebody who's being pushy. I don't want to be in a relationship with someone who's putting all that effort in, trying too hard. I want it to unfold naturally. And of course, we all want that chemistry, that X factor, and that cannot be created. We can't just manufacture that type of feeling. It's either there energetically or it's not. So the more you try to force somebody into something energetically, what you're doing is you're actually pushing them away. So maybe if you are persistent enough and somebody eventually does give in and they go out with you against their true feelings, and they're like, I'll just go out and give it a chance. Usually that dynamic's been set up in the beginning where they're not as into you as you're into them. And like I said, I'll never say never. It could happen. It could be a successful relationship. But typically, if you had to break someone down in order to win them over, that dynamic, there's always going to be that little bit of this person is above this person. And I think it works out best when both people feel really lucky to have each other and they're best friends. and they're on the, there's a nice balance, they're kind of leveled out, in other words. So I would just really urge people to let go of all that stuff that they see in the romantic comedies, because energetically what you're really doing is pushing people away when you try to chase. And it was just really bad information that we were given. There's also the thing where if there's something that you really desire, and let's talk about attachment styles for a little bit, get a little bit of psychology in here. A lot of the times when we are energetically drawn to someone, it's because we're kind of trying to reenact childhood traumas, childhood familiar patterns. So let's say you had one parent who was emotionally unavailable. You're going to notice that you tend to be drawn towards unemotionally available people. I said that wrong. Emotionally unavailable people. If you had it doesn't matter if it's the father or the mother, or if it's not even a parent, like let's just say if it's like an authority figure, or even, a friendship dynamic that you had when you were younger and you were trying to fit in. When we are constantly rejected, or we believe we're rejected, we start to feel unworthy. And then we go into adulthood with this feeling of, this time, I'm going to make it work. This time I'm going to make it different. We'll find that same dynamic, that energetic dynamic of trying to get validation from the outside, instead of just realizing that we're already worthy. When you're in a relationship and you already feel worthy, you don't have that needy, clingy energy. You're trying to get somebody to like you, like, oh, you have to do all this stuff to prove your worth to them. You could get a person that way, but I don't think it's going to be the right person. I think that the way you're going to get the right person is by being your true, authentic self, being vulnerable. Let's think about this, people pleasers. Look, I can say that because I used to be a people pleaser too. Manipulators will actually see you from a mile away, and they know that you're a people pleaser and you're an easy target. If you're wondering why you keep attracting them, it's an energetic thing. If you're a people pleaser and you attract people who try to manipulate you, you need to take a look at yourself and be like, okay, why do I feel like, I have to be with someone who's constantly, trying to control me? And you're not setting boundaries. You're allowing this to happen. Nobody can control you unless you allow them to control you. I've been in this situation. Okay. So I was allowing it. I can tell you, I was not setting boundaries. I was not standing up for myself. I just wanted to avoid conflict. So maybe that came from childhood. I didn't want conflict. And, so you just stay quiet and you just kind of allow other people to walk all over you, control you, just to avoid an argument, just to avoid a fight. But I'm going to tell you what, when we're doing that, we are not being authentic. We're just we're kind of lying to not only to the other person, but we're also lying to ourselves. Okay. When I tell someone, sure, I would love to do that for you, or sure, yeah, let's do that. And you, in your mind, you really are like, no, I don't, that's the last thing I want to do. Like, I don't want to do this favor for you. I had tons of shit I already had to plan for today, and it's going to really put me out if I do this for you. And you just say, sure. And then later you resent them. How is that being authentic? How is that being your true self? You're kind of being a liar if you think about it. Let's really think about what you're doing. You call yourself a nice person. And like I said, I've been guilty, but in the background, you're really pissed off. The real person behind the scenes, behind what you're showing, is resentful. You're resentful that you're having to do something you don't really want to do. So how is that being a nice person, really? So I think, that's something to really look at in yourself and ask yourself and be honest. This people pleasing stuff, where does it come from? Take a look at your childhood and how you grew up, your close relationships. Your family mainly is usually where it comes from. And a lot of this stuff happens before we're 7 years old, guys. So take a look at those patterns and then see what is familiar and see if you're reenacting some of these same old patterns with the chasing and, trying to get someone to see how great you are and validate you. That validation needs to come from within before you're going to attract the right person, for sure. Like, there's a saying, looking for love in all the wrong places. You're not going to find it outside until you first find it within. Okay. So let me know if anyone relates to this, if this helps at all, let me know in the comments, and feel free to share with a friend if you liked what I had to say. Also, I would love to hear your stories. I would love to hear anything relatable. Let me know in the comments below. Have a great day, guys.